Hello, my name's Tom Watts. I'm just making this short video today to talk about my experience with anxiety and depression and what helped me get out of it. And it all, in simple, one thing that helped me kind of rise out of anxiety and depression, and it was understanding that the present moment is all we ever have. As simple as that. So with anxiety and depression, especially with me, I was completely caught up in my mind, completely, completely caught up in the thoughts going through my head, constantly um, mulling over, exaggerating situations, and then mulling over the thoughts, which would drive up my anxiety, and then in turn, I'd slump into a period of depression. And I had this, for years, from about 17 till I was about 25 years old. But I was going through a cycle where I was having these periods of anxiety and depression, and it all was the catalyst for it all was my thinking. I had negative patterns of thinking, and I used to identify with these thoughts, and believe in them 100%, and ultimately that was my downfall. But so I went through this for years, and then ultimately in the end I had a sort of a breakdown of sorts, and out of that I realized that the thoughts themselves are mostly redundant. They're an illusion in most cases, and they're not actually based in reality a lot of the time. And once I realized that the only truth was the present moment. That's the only thing you can rely on. Is no matter what else is going on, if you give yourself fully to the here and the now, then you're okay. And that's what I figured out through my experience with anxiety and depression. Is once I knew that one truth, that it didn't matter how depressed I got or how anxious I was, if I just understood that, if I just give myself to the present moment and just let the thoughts come and go and just focus on what I'm doing right now, then everything started to be okay again. I slowly rose out of the depression. The anxiety no longer was there. It, um, the anxiety itself was generated by me mulling over these thoughts. So as soon as I stopped doing that, it never gained any traction. And what else came out of it was, as I started giving myself to the here and the now every day, even in the most mundane things, whether it was washing the dishes or just doing your household chores or driving the car, I would just focus on what I was doing. Just experience the moment with all your senses, listen to what's going on, look at everything, feel, um, and just give yourself to the now and forget about your thinking. Just completely absorb yourself in the moment. And as I slowly did that and just built upon the foundation of, I call it foundation of presence in my life, I noticed that life began opening up for me again. The anxiety and depression was no longer there, and everything else started working. Life started flowing for me like it never had done before. So this new way of living, like I got a taste of it out of kind of a bad period of depression, and once I realized the power of that way of living, of giving yourself to the here and the now, and forgetting about the little worries, and detaching from your thoughts in many ways. And that way of living is so fulfilling. Like, not only does it relieve all your stress, reduce the stress in your life, but also I don't know, everything started to work, like connections, whatever I was doing. Obviously my full attention was in the present moment, so I was giving myself completely to the here and the now. Therefore, whatever I was working on, whether it was I was socializing or I was at work, the outcome of the situation was always positive because I was giving myself to the now. I wasn't off in my mind thinking about what might happen tomorrow or what happened yesterday and dwelling on the past. So yeah, I can't speak enough about how powerful really giving yourself to the moment is. Not just talking about it, but actually applying it to your life on a day-to-day basis, and you soon realize how life responds, and you live such a more fulfilled life in every way. Your health gets better, um, your work improves just because you're giving your attention and your energy into what you're doing, so the outcome of everything is obviously going to be better. um, and the other thing that I got out of it was, once you start giving yourself to the moment, you connect with like an underlying peace. Like, it doesn't matter what's going on, you're kind of always connected to this sort of peace that's behind the chaos of everyday life. So whenever you get stressed out, whenever you think life's getting too crazy, you can kind of really just, you know, give yourself to the moment, just slow down, and you feel that peace that everything's okay, which is amazing in itself. So yeah, like I just wanted to sort of share this quick video with people and just let them know that for me, finding a way out of the suffering, the mental suffering of anxiety and depression, the access for it, to get out of it, for me was finding the truth that the present moment is all we ever have, and that if you really give yourself to it, you will find that you rise out of that suffering and you find something much more fulfilling. It's all about detaching from your mind and the thinking and the thoughts in your head, and just focusing on what's real, the only thing that's true, and that's that this moment right now. That's the only thing that will ever be. So it makes sense to really give yourself to it. And the most important thing is just to start doing it, not to talk about it, not to like discuss it with everyone. Just apply it to your life on a day-to-day basis, and soon enough, within a week's time, couple of weeks time, you will see the benefits of it. At first it's quite difficult, I found, because the mind resists. The mind wants to be off in the future, or the mind wants to dwell on the past. So you bringing this sort of new way of living in that is just in the moment, the mind resists it and tries to take you off into the past or project into the future. So there's this resistance initially, but if you can go through that, sort of push through those barriers, you'll soon find that it becomes a lot easier, and you'll definitely see the results, like in every area of your life. And it's something that it won't be a chore. Like, to apply it to your life won't be. It starts off feeling like a bit of a chore, but eventually it becomes just part of your routine, whether it's the meditation side of things or just you know just finding space every day just to be present, and it'll be something that you want to share with others, like I do now. So yeah, that was the point of this small video, and I just want to continue to sort of show people and talk about the simple truth of the present moment, and how it has transformed my life from a very depressive, um, massively depressive sort of situation I was in, to a really fulfilling life that I live now, and that's all through knowing that one truth. So cheers guys, and yeah, thanks for listening.